Hi all. I thought I would do a quick application review video for the Autoglym Headlight Restoration Kit. I've done one headlight and I'm really amazed with the results, so I thought I'd just anybody that's contemplating buying it and wondering which product to get, have to say it's probably the best kit that you can buy on the sort of for the DIY domestic market. So here's one that I did earlier, and you can see it's looking pretty new, and I decided to do this video even though I'd started my other one, but as a bit of a comparison. It's basically this area here is looks a bit crazed and a bit brown and a bit dull sort of thing. So I've started it here, and it looks a bit serious sort of thing, what you end up start doing, but just to show you through what you do, I have actually got one of these DA polishers, and it's basically a random it's like an orbital random action machine, but you can use this kit on an ordinary power drill, battery drill, because you get one of these, okay, this Velcro application. That's a polishing pad. Okay, so basically that's your applicator pad, but they will go straight onto DA polishers. And what you get in the kit is a wad of these discs, which are effectively flexible cloth emery paper basically, and they go from P800 to P1500. You start on P800, which is what I've done there, and I'm going to do a bit more on that in a minute and show you. Go over the whole thing quite well with P800, rubbing it down, and then P1500 all over. The more you do with these at this stage, the better result you'll get. Okay, and then in the kit are some like foam pads, thin foam pads, and these are P2000 and P3000, and the way that you use these is start off with the P2000, get a spray, and this is just car shampoo with water mixed up, and that's my spray. I use it for clay bars. Okay, so go over it with the P2000, wipe it down, go over it with the P3000, wet these pads, wet your headlight, and just go over it. The more the better really, the better finish you will get. When you've done that, wipe it all down, dry it all off, and then you get this applicator pad, which again, Velcro, and in the kit is a little bottle of headlight restoration compound, which is basically, it's a very fine rubbing compound, polishing compound. Stick a couple of gobs on that, actually rub it with your drill first on the headlight before you start, right, and then start, and just medium pressure go over the whole headlight. So what I'll do now is, as I say, I did this one, probably could have spent a bit more time on this, but I didn't know what sort of effect I would have had, and I didn't know how much of the overall headlight I would need to go over. When you end up looking at these things quite close, it's amazing how many scratches and that you see. I've taken headlights off because it's a hell of a lot easier than doing it on your car. Because if you were using the P800, for example, or the 1500, and you slipped and you went on your car's paintwork, you're going to have to know how to then polish that out. You're going to be needing to use compounds, etc., to get rid of what this will do to your paintwork. Okay, so It's usually pretty easy to take these things out. On mine there is 3 bolts and a clip at the bottom that holds them in, and then just unhook the wiring. So basically you get your I've got P800 on here, so I'm going to start the machine off and just do a little bit of sanding on this. Check it every now and again, get a cloth, wipe the dust off. You can usually feel where it's rough and where you need to go again, because the oxidization or whatever it is that causes that damage is usually slightly raised, and I can feel around here. I've still got to get some more of that off, so I'm going to continue with that. Right, I've swapped over to P1500 now after the P800, and you can see what the headlight's looking now. I've not gone completely over this area because they're not too bad, and it's generally on the top side that headlights tend to go if it's UV damage. So I've sort of concentrated on this top part here and down this side. There's a little bit of some residue or something across there which I've done, and I've just given a light going over here, but it's more stone chips and things like that that you tend to get on the front unless it is really damaged by UV or whatever. So I'm just going to go over a little bit more with the 1500. Right, so when you finish with the P1500, it's time for the 2 cloth pads which are wet. So you can see at the minute it's looking pretty milky. So what we do now is get our spray, cloth pad on there, P2000, give it a spray and wet the headlight. Okay, and then basically go over the headlight with the 2 grades of wet cloth, so it's P3000, P2000, P3000. A couple of times, keep going over, and then we'll dry the headlight off, ready for the cream pad. Okay, so I've finished with the cloth pads. Give the headlight a dry wipe over. It's looking reasonable now. It just looks sort of slightly hazy. What I've done now, put the applicator pad, the foam pad, on the machine. This is where you use your bottle of cream. Put a bit of a coating on the pad. Don't matter if you get too much on, okay, because what you want to do is before you start the machine, just wipe it all over the headlight like that, okay. Just tilt the camera down a little bit. And then just start it up with the compound on and go over. Okay, so I'll give it a good going over with the applicator for the headlight restoration compound, and there's pretty much splatter all around here now. So if you were doing this with your headlights in your car, it would be a bit of a mess, and in the instructions it does actually advise you to mask off the area, but I thought that was quite a bit of hassle, and it's a lot easier to take them off. So the headlight is covered in this compound. Give it quite a good go. So what we're going to do now is just buff that off. I'll do half of it, and then you can see the difference definitely on the video, hopefully. Okay, so the cloth's a little bit damp. There we go. hopefully you can see it's pretty good. It's always difficult to show things like glass, perspex, chrome, stuff like that on a video, but looking at it with a critical eye, you probably would tell it from a new one, and if you spent a little bit more time than I have, you could probably get it a bit better, but I'm being very critical. You can just see a little bit of imperfectionness around in this area, but when it's on the car you probably wouldn't see that. But I hope you can see the improvement from what it was originally. It's certainly 100% better. This is off a Kia Sorento, by the way, which don't normally suffer from the headlights going milky. And my car's been in a garage for a while, and I suspect that the damage that was on top of the lenses was more a solvent damage. But I hope you can see that that's a pretty good finish.